the good word, y'all? DKB here. So let's cover Ezekiel Elliott, these potential 3 destinations that he's planning on deciding on within the next 3 weeks. And then I guess we'll see. It's up to the GMs from there. But he's considering the Cincinnati Bengals, Philadelphia Eagles, and the New York Jets as 3 teams he wants to sign on and play with next after leaving the Cowboys. And, it makes sense from the New York Jets perspective, at least with him earning playing time. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they just signed Rashad Penny. They have Kenneth Gainwell over there, Boston Scott, Trey Sermon, some pretty interesting names in the mix. Bengals, they have Joe Mixon as their certified running back 1 over there, and they'll have some other options to follow up on with as well, which leaves the New York Jets. And if, Ezekiel Elliott's goal is to get as much playing time as possible, it's potentially going to be with the New York Jets. Breece Hall coming off a recovery. Michael Carter not having a great second year by any stretch. We've seen Zonovan Knight have some success, but he couldn't keep it sustained. And then, of course, the offensive line didn't help any issues. And then you have Ty Johnson, who's just re-signed, and he's essentially our certified third down running back, at least according to Robert Saleh. So, if you don't imagine they want to rush Breece Hall back, you can see a role for Ezekiel Elliott as a guy who's carried his team before, but after having multitude of injuries and, playing through things, he's not the same back he once was. So, we talked about this a little bit before. We're looking at a goal line short yardage back now, but he does have the potential to carry us at least for, a quarter of the season if necessary to allow Breece Hall back. But Breece Hall may not want to see any additional additions to the team. After news broke that Ezekiel Elliott was choosing between the Eagles, Jets, and the Bengals, Breece Hall happened to have tweeted out, "I think we're good over here." He tagged Michael Carter, the running back. He asked, "How about you?" with a yawning emoji. And I love the fire. Breece Hall is a guy that hasn't necessarily been very vocal. We don't hear a lot of, crazy sound bites or intriguing quotes or anything like that from him. He just seems like he puts his nose down and get to work. But the Twitter universe is much different. So, even the quietest of guys that you may not necessarily hear about, you'll see a complete alter ego via social media. And I kind of think about Elijah Moore as one of those guys, not necessarily a loud, in-your-face type personality, but we've seen some of the things that Elijah Moore was willing to tweet and put out there. So all of that aside, again, I love the fire from Breece Hall. I wouldn't say it makes a ton of sense. There's definitely valid arguments on both sides. Those who think that Ezekiel Elliott is an aging back that doesn't necessarily have running back 1 or running back 2 talent anymore, and I can hear them. But the stats do speak for itself. 12 touchdowns, just shy of 900 yards for this season. He's had 22 touchdowns over the course of the last 2 seasons, and so you can definitely envision seeing a role for him. On the flip side, again, we're talking about, I broke all of this down, so I'll tag the video somewhere, but we've had 9 touchdowns at a running back unit, right? Breece Hall may take time like Saquon Barkley did to come back. Maybe he pulls an Adrian Peterson and, all of this will be for naught. But you can't honestly look at the running back room and say there isn't a valid upgrade or at least the position for a guy like Ezekiel Elliott to take. Again, third down. You can make easily Michael Carter the receiving option. Ty Johnson doesn't necessarily excel in any one area. So it wouldn't be too hard to replace him. Obviously, you'd probably be saving some money depending on what the contract number Ezekiel Elliott is looking for. But Michael Carter took a step back. I would say a bounce back season is coming, right? When I look at Michael Carter from year 1 to year 2, we're going from the most elusive running back in the league to a guy that's suddenly able to be tackled by anybody on the first go around. And he was prone to a lot of mistakes, a lot of issues, not finding the right holes, some drop catches, really some uncharacteristic things that we've seen from him. And I don't know if that was attributed to the offensive line play or if something just didn't quite click the same way this year. But either way, you're not looking at a complete running back room, for lack of better words. Breece Hall can still be a running back 1 when healthy. Michael Carter II, I would even say, can get back to being a solid or above average running back 2 role. And then, slide in Zonovan Bam Knight into your running back 3 role. Make him a return specialist, whatever you want to do with that. But then you can make sure that Ezekiel Elliott is still your guy. So let me know where you fall on the spectrum. Should we completely avoid Ezekiel Elliott? Should we at least hear him out and see what the contractual offer is like? If it's $2.5 million or under, for example, would you guys be willing to sign him on and see him be a part of this running back rotation? I would like to see it. If the contract figure is low, I don't mind seeing him come on. It's not about him being a household name, but also, and I've had this conversation with quite a few people, I do enjoy the idea of hitting the draft every year and continuing to, add to the well. So I would just as likely, be able to find a 5th or 6th round pick that I can control for the next 4 years, and insert them into the same kind of position. Basically, the defining factor for me is that with Ezekiel Elliott, you're really just looking at a guy that you've seen be able to go out there and handle the things that you would expect a rookie to, try to take on. But there's no evidence at the NFL level that says that, right? For every Breece Hall that you can find, you can easily get yourself a Michael Carter, for example, which a lot of people thought was a low-level running back one last year in the 4th round. You can get yourself somebody like... the name is escaping me, but I was going to mention the undrafted free agent that the Broncos had running the ball for them for quite some time. So it's very doable. We don't need a huge role from him, so I wouldn't be upset by any means. I don't even think it hugely pushes the needle. This is just with this Super Bowl run on the horizon. The more options solidified as possible, the better. So again, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll catch you again. Peace.